It's This Week in Bourbon, where at some point in the future, maybe AI will do this for us. And here's your headlines from March 10th, 2023. The whiskey fungus at Jack Daniels is making national headlines. A leaked document from Amazon shows that they're trying to change liquor laws, and Law's Whiskey House has announced the 2023 release of their bottled and bond 4-grain bourbon. But before we get started, as usual, here's a quick word from our partners. Hey, everybody, welcome back to This Week in Bourbon.
Hey, another week has passed, and
Yes,
there's still bourbon news.
there's always bourbon news. Unfortunately, there's no RTD news. I thought last week I was like, maybe we'll have something, but there's just nothing that came out.
We're
Well,
getting
actually,
closer to summer.
there is one article that came out. I think it was from an executive at Beam Suntory,
Yeah, I
but
saw
it's
that.
not like news. It was basically saying that you can make or break your business on how good your RTD is, and
Right.
went all into depth of it. But that's not technically newsworthy per
And
se.
about
So
it's kind of like a gateway. Like if you nail the RTD, it'll show them make steps up your uh your offering ladder, I guess.
yes, which
You'll have the Beam and Cola, then you'll get the Beam bottle, then you'll get Old Granddad, then you'll get.
so it is the gateway drug of your whiskey habit. Is that what it is?
That's right. We gotta get on that RTD train.
Well, I think I will give a teaser out there. People may or may not know we've got another episode coming out in the future where we invited Flavor Man on the show. Which, if you don't know, they are based in Louisville, Kentucky, and they probably make 90% of the RTDs that are on the shelf. They help produce it. They are basically the people that help formulate all this sort of stuff. And we go through the whole process of what's it like to make a whiskey based RTD. It was pretty interesting. I think we learned a lot when we were doing it as well.
It is fascinating. It's yeah. That well, I'll leave it at that. That way people will tune in. I don't want
Yes, yeah.
to spill the beans.
We
And
won't ruin
there's
it.
and there's exciting news in this week in bourbon. I'm sure to get to.
Yes, yes. Only one announcement that I have to be able to go through is that if you like enjoying this podcast and you want to learn more about my background, I was actually interviewed on another podcast that was released this past week called Data for All. And it
Oh
was
boy,
talking it, yeah, exactly. And it was actually talking about data and bourbon. And we actually went in depth. I gave a history and background of my journey in tech and my career, and then really about how Ryan and I we use data to do a lot of stuff in our business as well as the podcast. And that's how we make adjustments into the type of shows that we release, which ones do we put more effort into, how do we figure out what states that we're going to distribute at for Pursued Spirits. All that is a very data centric driven sort of mentality and decision making
E-
process. And so we
except
go
when
through
we
into that.
except when we develop a brand. All the
Yeah.
data says just either bottle MGP or Kentucky bourbon proof down, and that should be the key to success. Except we didn't listen to the data and went the hard way. But other than that, yes, we make business good decisions on that. But
I don't know if it's data or case studies. Maybe it's the case studies we didn't take into account, because the data just says you put bourbon into a bottle, it should sell. But the case studies say that if you want to do it this way, this is a surefire way to be able to do it.
yeah, exactly. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. No, that's probably I need to check it out. I'll listen to it tomorrow while I'm on the couch recovering. Hopefully, last day.
Still last day, but take it easy. Make sure are there. I mean, I guess what NCAA basketball season is kicking off, all the tournaments and stuff like that for the
Conference
conferences.
tournaments week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So makes
Yeah.
sense.
I tried to get it on during the regular tournament, but it was all booked up, of course. Yeah.
So
So
there
I
is
got
something to that, that people actually do it. They get their vasectomies during that time.
yeah, they call it vasectomy madness. You get a vasectomy and then gift card to Kroger to buy some peas with your purchase. And then they said that week, and then Masters week is also the next second busiest.
I could see that. That makes
And then
sense
they're pretty much dead in the summer because nobody wants to do it in the summer.
then. Yep.
That's when they
Well,
go back to checking prostates and urethras.
there we go. Well, this really took a hard turn.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sure this is what you get.
Well, you're living proof of it right now. So
But I do
spay
appreciate
spay and neuter your master blenders. That's what we're gonna sign off with.
I do appreciate all the concerning. I did get some emails last week. One being from Mike Montgomery from Blue Run that said, Ryan, good luck with your colonoscopy next week. I was like, well, I'm not, because I guess I'd said like something that a male gets,
Yeah, a procedure
yeah.
of sorts. Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. Thank you, Mike, for your concern. Yes.
All right. Well, the good thing is we don't have a whole lot of other announcements. I know we'll have some other things going on. If you haven't checked it out, I know we're running a sort of advertisement for it right now. Ryan and I will also be presenting to the Bourbon Brotherhood in Louisville, Kentucky on March 22nd. It's a Wednesday. It is a ticketed event, but appetizers are included, and we will be there giving the spiel about everything Pursuit Spirits, have all four of the lineups there. We'll probably bring some extra experiments that didn't make the cuts. You can try a bunch of different things, but those tickets are available. You can go to eventbrite.com, search for Pursuit Spirits Bourbon Tasting. And I believe the last time I looked, there were only 20 seats left. So if you're
Oh,
looking forward
nice.
to it, yes, so go and check that out. All right, let's dive into it. Ready?
I'm ready.
Well, I'd say we're ready, but we talked about this a lot on the roundtable this past week, but it is news. I'll put it in here. Here we go. The residents of Lincoln County, it's a community of 35,000 in southern Tennessee, say that they've had enough of the black mold quickly coating their homes, streets, and public spaces, and they're ready to make Jack Daniels fix it. As Insider explains, the mold, known as Bedonia compunesis, is known by its nickname as the whiskey fungus, and it grows thanks to the ethanol vapor given off by whiskey distilleries, or in this case, the one by Jack Daniels located in town. In 2018, the liquor company built 6 barrel houses there and was going to construct 14 more before a recent lawsuit curtailed those plans. Christy Long, who operates a local events company at more than a 100-year-old mansion in the community, she filed a lawsuit in January against the county, citing that the barrel houses lack the proper permits for operations.
Wow.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. It says your computer stopped the recording.
Mine did.
No. What should I do? Only your recording stopped due to your hardware limitations. Others continue to record. That's really fucking weird. Yeah, it says yours is still. Let me try that again. Someone else is recording this. Okay. Hmm. Let's go ahead. Can you hit? Do you see a stop recording thing on your end or no?
No.
Okay. Let's leave and come back. I'll try this again. Sorry.
That's all right.
My end it stopped recording because of hardware issues.
Too much. Never mind. Too easy of a joke.
Residents of Lincoln County, a community of 35,000 in southern Tennessee, say that they've had enough of the black mold that's quickly coating their homes, streets, and public spaces, and they're ready to make Jack Daniels fix it. As Insider explains, the mold, known as Bedonia compunesis, I'm pretty sure I said that right, and by its nickname is called the whiskey fungus, and it grows thanks to the ethanol vapor given off by whiskey distilleries, or in this case, the one by Jack Daniels located in town. In 2018, the liquor company built 6 barrel warehouses and they're going to construct 14 more, but that was before a recent lawsuit was curtailed to those plans. Christy Long, who operates a local events company at more than a 100-year-old mansion in the community, she filed a lawsuit in January against the county, citing that the barrel warehouses lack the proper permits for operation. The New York Times then reported, and Lincoln County Chancellor J.B. Cox agreed, ruling that Jack Daniels must cease construction until it obtains the necessary permits. However, that isn't enough for Long, whose lawyer Jason Hulleman told the paper that he will be asking the judge to block Jack Daniels from using the other barrel warehouses near his client's property as well. The whiskey fungus is now on steroids, Long told the Times, noting that she and her husband have to power wash their property every 3 months with harsh chemicals, including bleach, but the fungus simply returns. The court said the recent building permit was issued based on construction documents and an amended site plan that had not been approved. As such, the court ruled that Lincoln County must issue a stop work order for Brown Forman until approval is obtained from the Planning Commission. So we talked about this in depth already for the roundtable, but any other kind of thoughts going into it other than what we had talked about for 40 minutes already?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in, I think I said this. If you're in Lynchburg or Nelson County, it's just something you got to deal with. It's the biggest revenue driver in your, you know, in your county, and so it's like you kind of
Rev
know
and
what
jobs, and
and
jobs.
jobs, and so it is what it is, and it's I get it, it's a pain. I don't think you have to do it every 3 months.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's a
usually
little.
like every
Even
you
the
know
distilleries don't power wash the outsides of their rick
yeah.
houses every three
Well,
months. I mean,
she should just do what they do and paint it black.
there you go.
It's a
That's right. Paint
problem
the house
fixed.
black. It's fine.
I get it. It's annoying. It's a pain, but it is what it is. It's like I mean, that distillery's been there forever, so it's like I mean, the
Well,
only the
here's the
only thing I'll
that
give you an
distillery's been there forever, and her mansion is 100-year old. So
right.
you tell me she's been doing this every 3 months for 100 years, and it's just now becoming a problem?
I mean, yeah. So it's just trying to squeeze it, trying to get them to settle for something. I believe. I mean, I get it. It's annoying, but it's a 100-year problem. So this is nothing new. I think when you told me originally about this, I was like, is there a new fungus out or something?
Yeah,
Because I feel like this has been going on for 100 years, and so, but nope, it's the same exact problem. So case closed, move on, you know, get a battery power washer now or something, save the environment. I don't know.
yep, yep, for sure. Yeah, this is one of those things that it's continually always coming out, and you never know. You never know what you're gonna get with it.
I like that the fungus is on steroids. It's like, it's. You still recording? You having problems again?
Okay. I just realized, you know what we talked about? We are like, we should probably stream this to YouTube. It was streaming to YouTube the entire time. And so we got people on there on the chat. I was
Oh,
totally blanked on it.
oh, well, where? How do you get to that?
Here, I'll pop it into our little,
Oh, never mind. Here, I see it. Chat. Oh no,
let's see. Where's our little, oh, there's our little chat right here.
I'm sure now it's gone
Now everybody's
from.
like, what's going on here? Yeah. Yeah. People are looking at this. They're like, oh, I totally forgot that we were doing this.
Oh, so it's just on our Bourbon Pursuit channel.
Yeah, it's just on the Bourbon channel, just this week in bourbon. So I think there's
Oh, hey, there we are.
yeah,
All
no,
right,
see,
look, we got all right people watching. Perfect. We had no idea you're watching because how
I know.
stupid we are.
So we were just going doing our regular thing. Funny thing. So when we started before doing this, we didn't. Ryan said we should probably stream this and maybe people would enjoy it, and I was like, cool, I'll just go ahead and set it up. But we completely forgot about it and just did our usual thing. And so maybe we didn't. Hopefully, didn't think it's anything stupid, but we did it right. We did it right.
I don't think I said anything, but maybe I don't know. I'm always in trouble. Somebody got
Yeah,
mad at me on Me Church's video because I cussed. So I was like, "Sorry, man. I didn't mean
yeah.
to."
Well,
I was nervous, and I cuss when I'm nervous.
that's your crux.
Yeah.
All right, here, let's get back into this here.
All right.
So this next one, it's not bourbon related, but of course we get Mark Brown's newsletter. He's the CEO of Sazerac, and every once in a while there's a good little nugget of information that I thought would be pretty interesting just to kind of talk about. And this one is that a German brewery is set to release the world's first complete beer in powdered form. So it's New Zeller Klosterbrau in Eastern Germany. I'm pretty sure I said that one right too, which has been brewing for nearly 500 years, said it will put the powder on sale this year. The product could cut the weight of shipments by 90% because there will be no need to carry it in heavy bottles or in liquid form. And that's with cheaper delivery potential having a knock on effect of the price of pints. Stephen Fritsch, he's the brewery's managing director, said that New Zeller had developed the powder over the last 2 years with government funding. You add water, and you'll get a beer with the complete beer taste, including alcohol and carbon dioxide with a head of foam. Frisch said that inflation, the energy crisis, and glass shortages, partly caused by the stopping of deliveries from Russia and Ukraine during the conflict, also created strong arguments for the powdered beer. It makes no sense to import glass bottles and fill them with German water and then send the beer to Africa or China or wherever, he said. Fritsch said that powdered beer would only suit brewers that supplied markets far away and that Germany's mostly small and medium sized breweries would continue to conventionally brew and bottle beer for their local consumers. He added that we also know that the classic Pils drinkers and all craft beer enthusiasts, especially in Germany, will be initially skeptical about our product. But with the product, the company is mainly targeting at overseas firms who would not require brewing knowledge, but could turn the powdered beer into their sorry, could turn the powder into beer for their end consumers.
It's like the Senka. You ever Senka? Like the pre-made coffee powder, you like instant coffee. You
I
do
mean,
like
I know what instant coffee is, but I don't drink it, so
this now you get electrolytes in powdered packets, you get athletic greens in powder packets, now you get your beer. Next will be whiskey. I can't wait.
we got
It's
to
like
figure out. We got to beat them to the punch. We got to figure out how we can make that happen.
this I really wish this came out when I went on my canoeing trips and I used to pack like two Yeti coolers full of beer on this canoe and it like almost sank us. I wish I just had powdered beer I could just mix up, you know, down the
That would
stream.
it would make your canoe a lot lighter.
There's zero chance this tastes good, right?
I don't know. I mean, I like Tang, right?
I,
So it's like there's a chance.
I guess that's true. I'm sure Flavor Man's behind this somehow.
I mean, it's alcohol in powder form. I give it a shot. Why the hell not?
Yeah, I mean, I'll try it. Try it once. That's for sure.
All right. So I guess the next question is that like say you not mix it. What if you just drink the powder straight? Do you just is it just
Do you
like
just get
straight?
drunk?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just straight just powder, just taking down powder kegs or something. I have no idea, but
Is it like shotgunning a beer when you just take the powder
I think it'd
straight
be
to the
more like
dome?
the cinnamon challenge. Like you just try to take it and it's just like you
It's
just
like the
can't.
one chip challenge, but hey, instead of shotgunning a beer, you gotta funnel this powder
Yeah.
down this tube.
Oh yeah.
I'm
All
glad
right.
this is okay.
Yeah. Let's go on. This is a long one, so just go ahead and take it in as I go through here. But this one is it had a lot of good little nuggets in here, so I figured I might as well put a good chunk of it in here. So Amazon, they wanted to quote unlock the liquor market by secretly lobbying to change laws, and this was an elite document. As reported by Vice.com, a confidential Amazon document obtained by Motherboard shows how the company wanted to make an aggressive push into the alcohol delivery market by launching a multi state lobbying campaign to change alcohol licensing laws and regulations in concert with a quote unquote limited government think tank. The document titled 2021 Alcoholic Public Policy Strategy states that Amazon needed to defeat Amazon specific legislative threats related to the self checkout in California, as it will be a highly politicized union issue, and that it thought that R Street Institute could shield us by providing cover when involvement by large retail brands is detrimental to its progress. Essentially, Amazon wanted to push its public policy agenda via a third party without the public understanding it was behind this effort. Even when ignoring the actual consequences of more lenient alcohol delivery laws entirely, the document lays bare the political power that Amazon wields. In the matter of fact, it internally discusses the exerting pressure and changing laws across the country in order to establish dominance in a market where it seeks greater profits. Amazon planned to change state alcohol laws to benefit in order to, quote, unlock the alcohol market. And so the company wanted to take a more aggressive strategy to modernize alcohol distribution by eliminating state licensing caps, fully legalizing alcohol delivery, and competing directly with package stores and wholesalers. It said, quote, our state-by-state approach has proved successful in the past 3 years in securing key victories and opening new geos for expansion. And unfortunately, it grows more difficult each year to achieve business wins as Amazon's profile increases, and we were forced to spend more time and political capital defending our current geos and policies rather than proactively changing alcohol laws. Amazon, the document reads, wanted all of its outlets to have as many alcohol licenses as possible. It planned to license facilities and open alcohol carrying stores in 7 new states, 5 of which would require a quote unquote high degree of effort to authorize. It continues to say that Amazon would be doing a positive regulatory and political outreach in its target neighborhoods up to a year in advance to garner community support. Amazon also said it would create jobs by changing state laws to allow alcohol delivery. It identified 6 priority states: Colorado, Massachusetts, Nevada, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Wisconsin, in which to unblock delivery and other alcohol related blockers, but only those 6 because of projected alcohol sales from the physical stores and the weight of effort to change laws. The reform effort would be seen as a win win for both the states and the company. Amazon's other proposed modernization steps is a coalition effort with like minded retailers to get rid of licensing caps in certain states and unblock central warehousing. Some states, like Maryland, have a set number of how many alcohol licenses can be given out. Getting rid of those caps would allow the company to get as many licenses as possible. Central warehousing, on the other hand, is a bolder move. The company would share its Amazon Fresh warehouse space with other businesses to increase efficiency and negotiate quantity discounts with wholesalers. An Amazon spokesperson told Motherboard in an email that it's common for people at Amazon to put ideas in documents that will never make it past the draft stage and are never used to make decisions. The document reference was drafted in 2020, more than 2 years ago, and not only was it never approved or implemented, the items discussed in the document are no longer relevant. The spokesperson also said that the company advocates for alcohol delivery across the U.S. So,
Wow.
lot to
Lot
take
to,
in there.
yeah, and usually on Mark Brown's, if the article's this long, I just don't read it because it's it's just
Well,
too much. But I did have time the last 2 days, so I did read through this, and it is not surprising, and we thought this was going on this the whole time.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
As soon as Amazon bought Whole Foods, you kind of knew that that's probably their end game was this, and two, they're kind of doing it over in UK, right? And so, uh, but two, it just shows you how hard this is going to be to change. That's the unfortunate thing in all this.
Yeah, we've talked for years. I don't know on how many episodes that Amazon could come and totally flip the script on all this. And I know that at some point we had tried to get somebody from Amazon that was a lobbyist for them on the show. They declined to come on. And it was really to kind of talk about, and it must have been a few years ago. It must have been kind of when this whole thing was going down. So now it all kind of makes sense. But this was something that I looked at and I said this could be a game changer for a lot of people because as soon as Amazon comes in, you've got retailers, you got wholesalers, you got all these people that will be really kind of scrambling to figure out how do they take down this 900 pounder or 800 pounder gorilla, whatever the moniker is there. How do you compete with that? And it's a very, very difficult thing to be able to do. But it just goes to show you that even with state alcohol laws, man, this is a heavy battle. And I don't know if this is something where they just, I mean, if the spokesperson said that, they said, we're just not going to do it. And I don't I mean, I can understand where they don't want to get into it because of the time and effort that it takes. Because if it was one fell swoop where you could change the alcohol laws once at a federal level, that would make sense. But if it's a state by state level, man, can you imagine doing that for 50 states? That's just a whirlwind of nightmares and things to be able to take care of. Plus, I know there's some other things in the document that we didn't put in there because they have their on the go technology where you can kind of walk into those stores and walk out with whatever you have and just gets charged your Amazon account because they don't have any staff there, and that would basically not fly for a lot of types of purchases. So they have to go, that's yet another hurdle of making sure that they can win over the like-mindedness of the constituents and everybody that they're trying to appease with this. But I don't know. I like seeing this because I like to see progress. I want to see change. And I think Amazon has the ability to be able to do this and they have the political power to be able to make some things happen. I'd like to see them continue down this track, even if it is behind closed doors. I just thought it was also, I think that what I love most about this was that it's a very like sneaky backdoor type of effort
Well,
where it's not
yeah,
them doing it, it's other people doing it, but they're kind of the puppet master at the end of the day.
sure. And you know, probably when we this whole Amazon thing first came up, I was like, hell yeah, they're gonna break down, and yeah, we need this revolution. But and I do think obviously there needs to be laws changed. I think it has to be dealt with more with the distribution. Um, I don't know. I'm not sure if I want, after being in this business, I don't know if I want Amazon having so much power and so much leverage in this space. I don't know. There's a lot of liquor stores that, going through this that support brands and do what this and that, and so it's I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this one. I hate to see them just like cannibalize the small independent chains, or independent stores that um that we certainly work with now with our own brand, and that support a lot of small brands, in this industry, and others too. So on this one, I don't know that it. It seems like in Kentucky delivery is great. Liquor Barn does a great job with it, and Party Mart. Um, yeah, I don't know. Kind of torn on this one.
Yeah, I think the winners at the end of the day would be the established brands because if you need a bottle of Woodford, you don't need somebody to convince you to go buy a bottle of Woodford. You don't need to go try something new. You already know what you're going to buy. And that's an easy add to cart checkout. But you're right. A smaller brand that's trying to get more market share, more mind share, more liquid to lips, as they say, that's not going to work for a brand like ours or 90% of the ones that we have on the show to talk about that are new and upcoming and exciting because it's just going to be the mainstays that will probably get the most benefit out of something like that.
Yeah, totally. So, um, and you may be talking about this, and if not, did you see where that, like where the this software that it was like in a study in Massachusetts about underage people getting like with the online ordering, I guess, and delivery. Are you going to discuss that or no?
No, I
Or
didn't. That's a good one. I didn't put that on here because there was that. It was a news article. I think this was about the wine delivery, saying that they did a comparison test of what was it? The ideology is what it is. There was a certain website that they were able to deflect
yeah,
every single
basically,
bad transaction, but the other wine wholesalers said like, "Oh, we had a 15-year-old go and check out," but it's not the data. The data doesn't correlate to actual real world
well, yeah,
scenarios.
it was a forced scenario. It didn't actually go through the real life processes. So basically, it was the argument against direct consumer that that with wine they were saying, oh, you can't validate identification, or 15-year-olds are getting alcohol, whereas Vino Searcher or whatever, I can't remember the site, they have successfully delivered
Like
millions of trans
600,000. I think it was like
yeah, almost a
600,000.
million transactions, and it had less than 10 to be underage drinkers, which I guarantee you that the statistics are way higher of underage drinkers getting access to alcohol through traditional channels. But this, like, I guess, artificially created scenario, they had a 15-year-old go on there and order it through another site that doesn't have this ID check, was able to get it. And it's like, it's not comparing apples to apples, but they're saying, I don't know. That's, I'm probably not making sense. And people are like, what the hell are you talking about? But, anyways,
Yeah, the ID check. I'm sure if anybody's ever done something online and you've had sort of a double authentication where you have to put in either your address or social, and that will do another form of ID lookup, and that's what those are doing. It's not just straight. Here's my credit card. Here's an address to ship it to.
yeah. And then people in the chat are saying those in controlled states would love to find a way for Amazon to get us stuff. Otherwise, well, that's good too. Makes sense. You know,
But that goes back to shipping across state lines, which is yet another
yeah,
milestone and hurdle.
yeah. It's all, yeah. Never
Say
gonna
it.
get it.
Say it.
Never
It's
gonna get it.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, your new line is it's more shenanigans.
It is more
I'm gonna we need
shenanigans.
to put that on a
Yeah,
t-shirt for you or a hat.
it's shenanigans. It is. It's all
Shenanigans and
shenanigans.
fuckery. That's all you. That's all it is,
I think Mike Montgomery told me those were two good lines last week. Also,
right? All right, here's our last news story, and that's the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. You know, it only comes once a year, but now you can enjoy the festival's programming from home with the weekly release of the festival's 2022 Bourbon 30 Conversations. It's a great way for folks to get a better sense of some of the festival's offerings if they haven't attended in the past, or for past participants to catch something they might have missed. So, Bourbon 30 shows a featured number of master distillers, blenders, authors, journalists, and other industry professionals on stage throughout the weekend. The festival shared the first show last week via its YouTube channel, featuring writer and KBF programming coordinator Steve Coombs with Aaron Lawrence of Blanton's Single Barrel Bourbon and Paul Clark of Imbibe Magazine talking the Blanton's the Blanton's Boom. The new episodes will be shared each Thursday leading up to this year's festival, which will be taking place on September 15th through the 17th.
Blanton's has a moob. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's a moob. It's a moob. Yeah, sorry, Blanton's Boom, as if there's not a Blanton's Boom we didn't know about.
What is that? What's Blanton's?
Yeah, never heard of it.
I
Yeah,
think
this
that's got
is
to be a
a
fascinating story, like seeing why and consumers' mindset, like why it took off the way it did.
oh hell, we need to bring on a psychologist for that one. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think they know. So I think that's the we have to bring somebody else on to figure that out. But like I said, this is for. I know we weren't. asked to be on this one. Maybe we'll see what happens this year. But Bourbon 30, it's the stage that was right where our booth was. If you remember that, to the left of us, where people had all those chairs out, they had the stage. I know that they had Bernie on there. They had a bunch of other bourbon personalities on. So they'll be releasing all those in anticipation leading up to this year, so you can kind of get an idea of what the programming looks like. It's fun, and of course, Ryan and I, as well as our ambassadors, we will be back at Kentucky Bourbon Festival this year. It was a great time for us, and I guess now that it's been announced, all the lineup came out earlier this week. So the same exact weekend is also going to be Bourbon and Beyond. So that is going to be one hell of a weekend of partying, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's like how much caffeine and and whiskey and liquid IVs can I pound in a week, just to,
Yep.
just to survive? It's
Wake
gonna.
up in the morning, start your day off at Bardstown, drive back to Louisville, get to Bourbon and Beyond, then start it all over again.
I was kind of mad at the lineup because I was like, "Damn it, there's people I want to see."
It was a pretty good lineup.
It's a really good lineup, so yeah, we'll have to make it this year. It's save your voices.
Yes, yes. We'll be drinking lots of water, making sure we can make it all happen.
That's right.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break. We're back with some bourbon release news. All right, everybody. It's bourbon release news time to figure out what's coming out. But in I guess the good thing is that there's not a whole lot to talk about. There's just a few different things here, so might be able to run this one pretty quickly. And so the first one that we talked about, the headline was that Law's Whiskey House. It's a Denver-based distillery. They announced this week of the 2023 release of their bottled and bond 4-grain bourbon. In 2016, more than 100 years after the Bottled and Bond Act was put in effect, Law's Whiskey House became the first Colorado distillery to release a bourbon meeting the bottled and bond criteria. Today, Law's Whiskey House continues to proudly carry forward this standard and tradition with the release of batch number 7 of their bonded 4-grain bourbon. And for the second year in a row, Law's bonded 4-grain bourbon is 8 years old and again consists of 2 separate batches. One batch is from the fall season of 2014, marked with the code batch 7F, and the other is from spring of 2015, marked with batch code 7S. As with all Law's small batch and cash strength offerings of its 4-grain bourbon, batch number 7 of Bottled and Bond 4-grain is made with the same mash bill of 60% corn, 20% heirloom wheat, 10% heirloom rye, and 10% heirloom malted barley. And it has a suggested retail price of $80.
Yeah, is that Law? I guess they make their own stuff. I wasn't sure.
I
It sounds like if they got heirloom stuff
and
in there.
to be bottled and bond, it technically has
Oh,
to.
that does. Duh. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Sorry,
Can't
Bernie. I failed your test.
can't source it and call it bottled and bond.
That's right. Or can you? As long as you put the distilling season on there, why couldn't you?
Shit, I guess you're right. You can because Smoke Wagon had a bottled and bond that came out, and as long as you say exactly what distillery it came from, yes, you can.
Well, I think
All
it's
right,
just stated
what do we do? What? Why? Are
distillation.
we, oh yeah, we can't do a bottled and bond because you can't blend it and be a bottled and bond.
Yeah, you can't have multiple states.
Yeah. All right. Well, then we just got to figure out what our next label is going to be. Old Cecil.
Old Cecil.
The old Cecil bottled and bands.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sure that'll fly off the shelves.
oh, you remember you got your Cecil's all spread around Kentucky. You guys inbreed everywhere apparently.
There's like 50 varieties of us, and somehow I'm only related to one of them.
Which that was always a good story when we went to do a barrel pick at Lux Row, and I think what was it? Sam was his name.
No, Caleb.
Caleb, and he was like, his name's Caleb Cecil, and he's like, you Cecil? I'm a Cecil. Who do you know? Oh, I know this person. Well, I know that person. Like, but you never met each other, never knew about anything.
That's
Just at some point, like the family tree just started like going really tall to figure out how you all knew each other.
yeah. Ancestry.com goes deep on mine. I got that for Christmas, and it was like 1,000 people were already related to me. I was like, "What? I'm like, how is this possible?" I
Well,
want to
now
know.
you got to get on. Oh, what's the that you spit in the thing and do it? 23andMe. Have you done that yet?
I did do that one. 23. Maybe that's the one I did. 23andMe. I
Where it
spit in
just
the.
automatically just starts pairing you up with everybody.
Yeah, spit in a tube and sends it off. It was like, I'm like, is this for real? Like, how's my
I did
dried
it.
spit gonna make it? And I guess it worked because my cousin, like my actual cousin, popped up on my app. I was like, damn, I guess it does work.
See, it worked for me too. I had cousins and family members popping up, and it's not like you sit there and just add them. I mean, it literally did it. I thought it was fascinating. You know what? You know what the
That's
thing that
what's so
pisses
funny.
me off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I gave it to my parents for Christmas one year, thinking like, oh, cool, just do this, and like we'll be connected, and it'll be something that it's gonna live in the data in the cloud forever, and it's like all this sort of stuff. And my mom didn't do it. You know why? Because she says, I'd be really scared to know if like there's a long lost brother or sister out there I just didn't know about.
Yeah, I've had somebody. Well, you know him, but I'm not gonna say that would be terrible to say it. But we, I know somebody that happened to, where they did and then they found like a sister and then a dad. Like it was crazy. Yeah, it's happened to people that I know.
But why is that? Why is that something that you wouldn't want to know about? Like it's a
Well, I
whole.
mean, obviously you would want to know, but it's just
I mean,
like,
other than your childhood being a sham.
well, somebody didn't want you to know, so it's like
True.
it's yeah, but it's like, I guess, have you seen all this stuff they're trying to ban TikTok or whatever, and because China knows everything about everyone, they're trying to ban it in the U.S. And I'm like, well, people spit in a cup and send it off. It's like, you gonna ban that too? I don't know. It's like everybody knows everything about everybody.
It's all free data. Just let it happen.
I
All
don't
right.
mind people advertising to me what I want to buy. It's like, quit wasting my time with stuff I don't want to buy.
True. True. Pass on the all the children's toys and unicorns and rainbows and stuff. More
That's
whiskey.
right.
More whiskey ads. That's what we need.
That's right.
Well, Colorado stays in the news here with the next one, and that's American single malt pioneer Stranahan's. They've unveiled its second annual release of Diamond Peak. So, Diamond Peak Batch Number 2 is an extra añejo cask and is marriage of Stranahan's 5 and 8 year old whiskeys before being additionally resting at more than 2 years in casks that previously held Jose Cuervo Reserva de Familia Extra Añejo Tequila. It's bottled at 90 proof, and Stranahan's Diamond Peak Batch Number 2 Extra Añejos cask is available nationwide and online with a suggested retail price of 80 to $85 per bottle.
Oh, Colorado's coming out hot.
I
Finally,
guess. Well,
it's like the snow's melting. Time to get the bottles out.
yeah, we got to get this whiskey out the door at some point.
Still got like 1 month of ski season. Get people drunk.
I mean, that's true. I guess yeah, because you do probably what towards the end of March is probably when it tails off, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I'll be in Colorado for people listening.
Ooh,
April
let people know.
14th. Gosh, I'm sure people are loving the silence. Let me look. April 13th, 14th, and 15th. And we are planning some events out there. One in Denver and one in kind of the Estes Park area. And so more details to come, but
Put it
book
on
your
your radar.
calendars. Yeah. Clear your calendars, as
Clear the
Kenny would say.
calendars. Ryan's coming to town. Bring him some añejo casks.
Yeah, not to hijack laws or Stranahan's product releases, but
Just to talk about us for another minute.
that's right.
All right. Well, here's our last news story, and that's that former Rutgers football player, which everybody doesn't know
Hey,
that Ryan actually attended
alma
Rutgers.
mater. Keep
Yep.
chopping.
So Eric Legrand, he was paralyzed, but he recently launched his Kentucky bourbon Legrand whiskey. So according to TMZ, Legrand linked up with Brian Axelord, who worked with Conor McGregor on McGregor's Proper Number 12. Legrand and Axelord found a distillery in Kentucky, and as the cliche goes, the rest is history. And beginning quotes, I'm thinking this is about to taste like rubbing alcohol. It's going to be terrible. I took a sip and I'm like, hold up. Let me get a little bit more, Legrand told TMZ. And I took another sample and I'm like, whoa, describing his first time tasting the product. The former tackle also spoke about the resilience and not allowing his disability to limit his visions. He said, quote, a lot of times people see someone in a wheelchair with a disability and they think they can't enjoy alcohol or other things. And I'm like, that's totally not true. And I wanted to end that stigma. I wanted to create a brand of something that represents me, which I feel like whiskey is the perfect thing that represents me. It takes patience. It's something that's tough, strong, and something that you can celebrate life to. A portion of profits from LeGrand Whiskey will go to research centered on paralysis. And LeGrand also owns LeGrand Coffee House, located in Woodbridge, New Jersey. And LeGrand Coffee House includes a variety of signature and specialty coffees, pastries, and monkey bread from the Baltazar Bakery in Inglewood. The whiskey, however, is proofed at 88 and retails for $45 a bottle.
I love this. I remember it was like I think 2009. I graduated there from 2007, so it was just a few years after. And I remember this, and then I remember coming back out on the wheelchair. But this is awesome story, man. I'm really excited for him, and this is a cool project. And I'm going to support this. Also, paralysis is very near and dear to my heart because our close neighbor in front of ours has a daughter who's paralyzed in a freak accident. So there's a ton of expenses and ton of it's just hardship on families that deal with this. So I'm I don't even care if the whiskey's good. I'm buying as much bottles as I can. I'm all in on this.
Well, they found a distillery in Kentucky. I think
Oh, so it's got to be good.
it narrows it down to probably like three or four.
Yeah, we're probably buying whiskey from there too. So
we're we're all whiskey cousins at some point.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah,
So this is very cool.
yeah. So I guess go and check it out. It's at legrandwhiskey.com. But that's gonna wrap it up for this week in bourbon once again.
All right. Well, until next week.
That'll do it.
Toodles.